Have you heard about the allegations against Lizzo? Because they really seem to be stacking up. There are more and more people coming forward with their own stories since the news broke. So in this video, we're going to be counting down the top 10 celebrities now speaking out against Lizzo. Number 10, Beyonce. Since the harassment lawsuit was filed against her, the internet has completely turned on its head. Even Beyonce seems to have reacted to the accusations made against Lizzo. On Tuesday night, she recently took to the stage at Gillette Stadium in Massachusetts, which was the latest stop on her Renaissance tour. While performing Break My Soul, fans noticed that she deliberately left out Lizzo's name. In the original version of the song, the lyrics go Rosetta Tharpe, Santa Gold, Vogue, Bessie Smith, Nina Simone, Betty Davis, Solange Knowles, Badu, Lizzo, Kelly Rolls. But instead of saying Lizzo's name, she replaced the lyrics with Badu Badu Badu, and fans interpreted this moment in two ways. Some saw it as Beyonce avoiding a reference to Lizzo with the lawsuit controversy going on, while others pointed out the fact that she also took off Kelly Rowland's name from the song, so it most likely wasn't down to the events of the last few days. But if she really is giving her the cold shoulder, then that would be a little crazy, considering that Lizzo has long declared her adoration for Beyonce, like when she honored her during her own acceptance speech at the 2023 Grammy Awards. But it's possible that the tide is now turning for good. Number 9, Sophia Nahli Allison. The Oscar-winning filmmaker weighed in on the situation, stating that she doesn't usually do so but felt compelled to. She made a post on social media saying that she'd quit her role as a director of a Lizzo documentary back in 2019 after only 2 weeks, because she said she was treated with such disrespect by her. She wrote, "I usually don't comment on anything pop culture related, but in 2019 I traveled a bit with Lizzo to be the director of her documentary. I walked away after 2 weeks. I was treated with such disrespect by her. I witnessed how arrogant and unkind she is. I was not protected and I was thrown into a bad situation with little support. My spirit said to run as fast as you effing can, and I'm so grateful I trusted my gut. I felt gaslit and I was deeply hurt, but I've healed." She went on to say that reading the reports made her realize how dangerous of a situation it was, and that Lizzo completely misused her power, which is something that happens far too often. Allison ended the post by saying that she supports the dancers who brought the original lawsuit against her. Soon after this allegation came out, it gave way for several others to step forward and share their own experience working with Lizzo. Number 8, Ariana Davis. The dancer at the center of the lawsuit claimed that Lizzo pressured her to touch a nude performer in Amsterdam during a group visit to a strip club after a performance in the city earlier this year. At the club, Lizzo allegedly began inviting several cast members to take turns touching the nude performers, and began pressuring Ariana to touch the breasts of one of the nude women. Apparently, she declined, and then Lizzo led a chant encouraging her to do it. When she declined 3 more times, the chant grew louder and more strident, demanding that she touch her even though she was clearly uncomfortable at that moment. Afterward, Lizzo allegedly pressured a member of security to get on stage and started yelling at them to take off their clothes. Ariana also accused her of calling attention to her weight after a performance at South by Southwest Music Festival. Apparently, she told her that she seems less committed to her role, which is a comment that she took as thinly veiled concern about her weight. At one point, Lizzo had told the group that they would have to audition again, in what was described as an excruciating 12-hour rehearsal, and if she wasn't satisfied, the dancers would be fired and then sent home. During the rehearsal, Ariana claimed that she was so fearful she'd lose her job if she even went to the bathroom that she ended up soiling her pants. So if that's not a toxic workplace, I don't know what is. Number 7, Crystal Williams. Along with Ariana Davis, Crystal Williams joined the dance team after competing on Lizzo's show called Watch Out for the Big Girls. After graduating from Sam Houston State University in 2020, Crystal sent an online submission to Lizzo's casting call. She was then cast and eventually appeared on the competition series, though her time on the show was brief. She dropped out early after immediately being selected by Lizzo as one of her backup dancers. According to the lawsuit, Crystal lost her job on April the 26th when Lizzo's tour manager fired her in a hotel lobby. This was after she spoke up at a meeting where she challenged a claim from Lizzo that the dancers were drinking before performances. Apparently, the manager said that it was all down to budget cuts, even though no one else was actually fired at this point. The lawyer for all 3 dancers, Ron Zambrano, released a statement saying the stunning nature of how Lizzo and her management team treated their performers seems to go against everything Lizzo stands for publicly, while privately she weight shames her dancers and demeans them in ways that are not only illegal but absolutely demoralizing. Number 6, Noelle Rodriguez. Noelle was hired as one of Lizzo's dancers in 2021 after she performed in the music video for Rumors, but she ended up resigning in early 2023 right after Crystal Williams was fired. Unlike the other 2 dancers, Noelle never went on Watch Out for the Big Girls. Before she worked with Lizzo, she was a background dancer in season 1 of Euphoria. She performed at last year's Oscars and danced with Beyonce at Coachella. She's even performed with Sam Smith on the Jingle Ball tour and Janet Jackson at the Billboard Music Awards. So she had quite the resume even before coming on board with Lizzo's dance team. According to the lawsuit, Noelle confronted her shortly after Crystal was fired, and after a contentious meeting where she was allegedly berating Ariana Davis. Noelle claims that she told Lizzo that she felt disrespected and then resigned from the tour. She then said that Lizzo approached her and started cracking her knuckles and balling her fists as though she wanted to fight. Their lawyer said they were really freaked out that last day when Lizzo started yelling, screaming and getting in people's faces, and the dancers were not just the plaintiffs. The other dancers were crying. It was just so intense. Number 5, Courtney Hollinquest. The former dancer who worked with Lizzo spoke out on her Instagram stories about her own experience with the singer. She explained that while she's not a part of the lawsuit, she does agree with all the things that Lizzo is accused of. In her own words, she said, "This was very much my experience in my time there. Big shout out to the dancers who had the courage to bring this to light." And this mistreatment seems to be a common theme among her backup dancers. One of the main plaintiffs behind the lawsuit, Ariana Davis, claimed that she was fired in April for recording one of the team meetings because she said that she suffered from an eye condition that sometimes left her disorientated in stressful situations. So the recording would help her catch up with what was going on. Days later, Lizzo held an emergency meeting and had security employees confiscate all the dancers' phones. She allegedly became furious and started yelling obscenities at the group, stating that she was going to go around the room person by person until someone told her who made the recording. Ariana finally owned up to it and said that she wanted to have a copy of the performance notes. She insisted that she didn't mean any harm by it and that she would go and delete the video, to which Lizzo allegedly responded by saying, "There is nothing you can say to make me believe you." She then fired her on the spot after berating her. Number 4, Quinn Wilson. Lizzo's former creative director agreed with Courtney Hollinquest's statement. She took to social media and wrote, "I haven't been a part of that world for 3 years, for a reason. I very much applaud the dancers' courage to bring this to light, and I grieve parts of my own experience. I'd appreciate space to understand my feelings." So basically at this point, fans were really starting to notice just how many of Lizzo's former colleagues had something negative to say about working with her. What's even more is that the dancers claimed that their team captain, Charlene Quigley, made some inappropriate sexual comments while chastising members of the team who had premarital sex. They believe that Lizzo was aware of these complaints against Charlene, but she chose to ignore them. They specifically accused Charlene of proselytizing to other performers and deriding those who had premarital sex. It was also said that she publicly discussed the virginity of one of the plaintiffs, even when it was made very clear to her that they were uncomfortable with it. So clearly these accusations are extremely serious, and whether or not Lizzo knew about what was going on with her team captain is still unclear. Number 3, Grimes. The musician seemed to be on the fence about the allegations against Lizzo, though she did give her honest take on the situation. While Grimes is willing to admit some bad things might have happened behind the scenes on Lizzo's tour, she compared it to her own experience on tour and said that she had dancers who were mistreated on her watch in ways that she didn't actually find out about until later. She went on to say, "But loyalty matters to me. Lizzo was kind to me and others for a decade before she was cool, and she checked in on me when no one cared. I've only ever seen exemplary behavior from her, especially when everyone was hating on me and she was on top of the world. There was no reason for her to check in besides to be a good person. Just my 2 cents. To those arguing that Lizzo was only nice to Grimes because she had some kind of power in the music industry, she was quick to point out that Lizzo was nice to her before she met Elon. She said this was around 2012, before anyone cared about either of them. Apparently she was even friendly with her when she was cancelled, which is probably why she wants to return the kindness. Number 2, online backlash. The reaction to this lawsuit has been absolutely chaotic. Even Lizzo's most devoted fans seem to be divided over who to believe. But the reason these allegations are getting so much attention is because they directly contradict the singer's brand of self-acceptance, inclusivity, and body positivity. Her personal brand radiates unbridled joy and unapologetic self-confidence. As a vocal supporter of fat-positive language, Lizzo has faced significant criticism and hostility online. So the revelation that she could have weight-shamed her dancers sent shockwaves through fans and media circles, because it really shows a powerful disconnect between her public persona and the behind-the-scenes music industry culture. There was also a very clear power imbalance happening because the dancers felt that they had to comply with requests that made them uncomfortable or they would risk losing their jobs, like the fact that they had to go to the strip club even though they clearly didn't want to. But there have also been some very interesting conversations happening since this news came out. One person tweeted, "Lizzo is a terrible person, but let's be honest, men don't even care about her victims. Instead, they just wanted a reason to openly be fatphobic to women, and this TikTok with more than 600,000 likes proves it, along with viral fatphobic tweets since the incident. And coming in at number 1, Lizzo's reaction. The singer finally responded to the lawsuit against her in a statement of her own. She dismissed the harassment claims as unbelievable and outrageous, and said that they are completely untrue. Lizzo insisted that her accusers had previously been warned about their inappropriate and unprofessional conduct. In a statement posted on Instagram, she wrote, "These last few days have been gut-wrenchingly difficult and overwhelmingly disappointing. My work ethic, morals, and respectfulness have been questioned. My character has been criticized. Usually I try not to respond to false allegations, but these are as unbelievable as they sound, and too outrageous to not be addressed." She called the allegations sensationalized stories that are coming from former employees who have already publicly admitted that they were told their behavior on tour was inappropriate and unprofessional. Lizzo went on to say, "As an artist, I have always been very passionate about what I do. I take my music and my performances seriously because at the end of the day, I only want to put out the best art that represents me and my fans. With passion comes hard work and high standards. Sometimes I have to make hard decisions, but it's never my intention to make anyone feel uncomfortable or like they haven't been valued as an important part of the team." So what do you guys think about this video? Please let me know in the comments below, and I'll catch you in the next one.